Hey everyone, thanks for joining me here again today for DesignSpark Electrical tutorial video. This video we're going to be covering libraries and all the different libraries that you have available to you within the software. Now, all the information you see here today is the default of what comes with the software. The first library or manager that we're going to talk about is our symbols manager. Now, one question I get asked all the time is, why are my symbols not connected to my manufacturer part? Well, it's quite simple. The reason why they are not connected directly is because we can have one symbol represent upwards of thousands of different manufacturer parts. A 4-pin connector symbol is a great example of this, where I can have one 4-pin connector symbol, but in reality, there are probably over 10,000 different 4-pin connectors that manufacturers have created over the years that can be correlated to that one specific symbol. So that is the main reason why those two libraries are separate. Now, back to the actual tool itself. First, let's go ahead and open up the Symbols Manager. And when we first open up the Symbols Manager, we have its title bar here, the sub command manager if you must, and we have the ability to create new symbols. We can open a symbol. We can import a DWG, an existing one from a separate tool if needed. We can delete symbols. We can edit the properties about that symbol. We can always copy and paste the symbol. And then we also have the ability to view the symbols in different methods, either thumbnail view or list mode. I prefer thumbnail view because now I can see what that symbol actually looks like. And then we have the ability to archive or unarchive those symbols. So if I have to share a symbol that I've created with a coworker or somebody else, then I can simply select that symbol and archive it off, and then either email or put it to to something like Google Drive and share that off as necessary. Same thing applies as unarchive, where I can pull information, different types of symbols into my environment. Underneath that, before we get to our actual symbols, we have our classifications. Now, the classifications are hard coded to the software. We cannot change the names of these classifications. So again, if I'm about to create a new symbol, I might want to think about where I want to put that symbol first. You can always edit it later on, but it makes it a lot easier if you just pick the category, the classification that you want that symbol to go in, and then go ahead and add new. It will take on the properties of that classification. Now, for connectors, I have only 82 different symbols in here. You can have as many symbols as you want, but maybe I don't know exactly what symbol I need for this project going forward. That's where filters comes in, and the filters works for all of the different types of libraries, the managers that we have. In this particular item here, it's because I was already set to the connectors classification, it's going to filter to that. And a perfect example of trying to figure out what symbol I need, maybe I have a manufacturer, a specific symbol for that manufacturer. I can go in and find that. Or maybe I know how many terminals are available, and I can automatically go ahead and choose the appropriate symbol that way. So filtering really just helps me figure out and organize my design a little bit more readily available, make it a little bit more readily available for me moving forward. Our title blocks manager, same menu options that we just saw for symbol manager, so I won't get too deep into those. And again, we can see our classifications. They're broken out into ANSI or ISO. We also have empty, where if you don't want a title sheet, you can always go ahead and just have it just be a blank, a giant blank sheet if necessary. And under the ANSI and ISO, you do have different sizes. And inside of each one of these, there are some default sheets. So if you desire, you can always go ahead. If you want to add your title block in here, you can always unarchive it in if you're already using DesignSpark Electrical, or you can import a DWG from another tool. Or the third option is you can come in and simply copy paste and edit the information and try to match your old title block as necessary. The macros manager. Now, the macros manager is a very powerful feature which we will get into a little bit more detail in a later video. Again, there is only one classification for this right now, and you have a few items that you can work with if needed. Your cable manager, more classifications. Again, these are all hard-coded based on what kind of information you're using. I would recommend if you're going to add a new reference, a new cable reference, then I would organize it as needed based on the classification. And then your manufacturer part information. These are, again, are categorized in the same fashion that your symbols are. They are the same classifications, and the reason they are the same is that if I choose a connector symbol, it knows that it's a connector symbol and will only show me manufacturer parts that are labeled as connectors. I can override that later on if needed, but it helps to kind of help break that manufacturer and filter down again, and using those filters to figure out exactly what part I want. Now, once you figure out an idea of what classification you want, if you're going to search for parts inside the manufacturer part library, you have the ability to either search or auto refresh. I personally like to leave the auto refresh off, because if I'm trying to type in a long reference number for a manufacturer part, every type of key that I press, it will automatically keep refreshing. And if I have thousands of parts in my library, then it's going to slow me down substantially while it's searching between every keystroke. So I would recommend typing the entire name in, or any information that you know about that part, to filter down, and then go ahead and hit search. If your library is not that big, then auto refresh may work for you. Besides filtering for your information, you also have the ability to change the units from imperial to metric as needed. This is important when dealing with inside of the manufacturer parts. There is your height, width, depth that will conform to whatever you've selected in that top level manager. The customization, the library managers here. Now, this is an easier way to organize your symbols, your title blocks, your manufacturer part, and so on. What a lot of customers I've seen use this for is really fine-tuning their library based on a customer. Maybe a customer has a specific symbol set that they want you to use. Then you can create this library, and now when you go ahead and try to insert symbols, it's only going to go look to this specific library, whatever that specific library is that you've selected, so that it filters everything else out and it makes it easier. I've seen a lot of customers utilize this when they have interns working, where they can tell the intern, all right, you're only allowed to use libraries 1, 2, and 3. That way they can't go in and mess with other types of libraries that you have set for maybe other customers or other projects going forward. So again, it's just another way to organize your overall library. So I hope this helped. This was, again, a very quick understanding of what the difference is between these different libraries. There's probably a lot more questions out there, but I'm going to try to cover as much as I can in this complete video series before we even get to a project. So the next video, I'm going to dive into the symbols manager a little bit more, and we're going to actually open up a symbol, edit that symbol, and show you some of the features while editing that symbol. So again, thanks for watching. See you next time.